Jacobs Show. Listen, we have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Kim Jacobs Show. I am so excited to have you all here today with us. We are going to have a great time because guess what? We have Dawn Witte right here on The Kim Jacobs Show. Welcome, Dawn. How are you?
I am wonderful, Kim. Thank you so much for having me back.
Oh, I'm so honored to have you back. So thank you for being here and accepting the invitation to come back. And it's been a long time, right?
Yeah, so much has happened.
No, I was looking through your website. I was like, this wasn't there the last time that you came on. It's so much has transpired in your personal life, in your career, business entrepreneurship, and I can't wait for everybody to get to know you better. Everyone that's grabbing your seats, make sure you go ahead and let us know where you're visiting in from as well today. We'd love to put your comments and your thoughts up. And then I'm also going to share this link in case any of you all want to come on and ask questions directly with I said doctor, because you, in my opinion, you have some healing fingers over there, and you're over there doing so much work, especially in Africa. So I'm excited about you being here today. Dr. Tina Ramsey, I see you putting some hearts, and so glad. She's in charge of CTR Media Network, and I'm one of the podcasters, the Kim Jacobs Show. We are one of the podcasters on her broadcast. So you all make sure you check out CTR Media Network and Dr. Tina Ramsey. And I call him Brother Curtis Ramsey, her husband. Okay. All right. They actually, guess what, Dawn? We stream in over 100 countries and 350 million households.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm so glad that you're here. Where are you located? Tell everybody.
I'm in Los Angeles, California. Okay.
So you got up pretty early to be here today with us, right?
Not too early.
Okay. Well, that's good because I'm up and it's pitch dark. I feel like I've already worked like an 8-hour work day sometimes, and it's like 5:30, and I'm like, "What? Everybody, just let's all wake up. It's time to get up around here." Do you do that too?
I do, and because I work with people in so many different time zones, it works better that way. And I go to bed early, and my dog wakes me up early, so it's all good.
And that's whether you set your alarm or not, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the case here too. Let me tell you all that you all are in for a wonderful treat today because we're talking with Dawn Witte. She's an entrepreneur, award-winning author, international speaker, and devoted philanthropist. Dr. Dawn Witte, I like saying your whole name because it's so formal, embarks on a mission of igniting the spark of purpose in hearts around the world. And as a certified life coach, she's also the visionary behind The Secrets of Being. Somebody type that, The Secrets of Being, Being, just the secrets of being and existing. She extends her guiding hand to unravel the tapestry of inner authenticity, empowering individuals to live a life of meaning and impact. Welcome, Dawn, to the Kim Jacobs Show.
Thank you so much, Kim. I'm so excited to be here.
So tell everybody before we would go any further, just in a nutshell, what they can expect from hearing you speak to us today.
Oh, I hope I leave people with a little inspiration and motivation to, be the change they wish to see in the world. We see things happening that we don't like, whether it's poverty or racism or all those things. And, instead of just complaining about it, be the person that you wish you could show up as the person you wish you had.
That's good. So you're saying be the change ourselves. Instead of just telling everybody else how to change, we need to learn how to walk in that authority ourselves.
Yes, bring our best selves to every situation, no matter what that is.
That's good. And you know what? Right, probably from the beginning here, I'll just ask. Sometimes we think we're bringing our best selves to situations. and really it doesn't come across to the other person or the receiving party as your best version of yourself. So how do you recommend people bring their best selves if they only know to bring what they have within them?
I think I had this aha moment, and that's why I named my courses and the secrets of being, because it's those aha moments you have along the way where it's like, oh, I never knew that before. So I was in Africa, I was in Sierra Leone. We had done this big wharf cleanup, and we had to wake up super early. I had got there really late the night before. I'd spent like a week in Uganda, and so I was really tired. And we had to wake up early and drive because they closed up all the shops, everything in the streets. You couldn't be on the street because it was a community cleanup day. So I spent all the money that I had with me to buy some extra things to help the people that live on the wharf clean up, do a major cleanup on that wharf, because it was, there were dogs and pigs and like all kinds of trash that would wash up on the shore. And I wanted to give those people a clean environment. And so we were doing the cleanup. We did an amazing job. And I'm not saying I did an amazing job, but everybody that was working did an amazing
Collective group, right? You're right. I get it.
And there was this one lady, and she was yelling at us because she didn't get any of the biscuits, the cookies that we were handing out. And we gave a little bit of money, extra money to people to do what they were supposed to be doing anyway that day. And as she's yelling at us, I am tired, I am cranky, I am hungry, I am thirsty. And in my mind, I was thinking, are you even kidding me? Like, I don't even live here, And then I thought, but Dawn, you're in Africa. You are here for love and kindness. And so instead of saying, look, lady, which is what the thoughts that were going through my head,
Right.
I let her finish. And I just said, you know what? I am so sorry. We ran out of the biscuits and the money. And I gave her a hug and I walked away. And I was like, whoa, that felt more powerful to me, because I don't have to ever look back on how I behaved and say, oh, I wish I wouldn't have said that, or I wish I wouldn't have, shown up like that. There were children watching. So I brought my best self because I was reminded, like, I choose to be here because of love and because of kindness.
Wow. So you feel like that is a beautiful example, only because you literally could have chosen a different direction and it could have impacted everyone that was witnessing your behavior. And
Mhm.
so it goes back to the theory of the quote that life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we respond and behave towards it. And so yours is that 90% of choosing. And I think it is a choice. I think it's a conscious choice that I'm making the decision to behave in this manner in this situation. But it takes some almost like pause moments, don't you think, Don? Like count to 10, 1, 2, do something. What does it take for you to get to that mindset?
Well, and because I was in Africa, I think that was the catalyst for me to be able to take that pause and say, wait a minute. If I was in the United States, I might have been a little snippy with her. But because I was in Africa, that gave me the pause to say, no, who do you choose to be right now?
Mm. That's good. And in the studio audience, please type your thoughts too. How do you handle some touchy, irritating situations that make you kind of fly off the handle a little bit? You could easily be like, you know what? I'm about to give you the business, right? So tell us in the studio audience too how you handle dealing with difficult people and difficult situations. That's probably the best way to say it. But okay, so with you, I know that BE is this big thing that encompasses everything that you surrender yourself to, actually. So talk to us about just being. What's your theory surrounding that?
Like you were saying, 10% is what happens to us in life and 90% is how we respond to it. So it's always a choice of who we choose to be at the moment. And I will say there are circumstances and situations where I have not, chosen the best me. But then I look back, a day later, an hour later, and I'm like, oh, that wasn't my best self. That is not how I want to show up in the world. So again, being to me is just like, again, it's a choice. And I chose 7 words when I first wrote my first book. And I want to be love in the world. I want to be kind. I want to be strong. I want to be happy. I want to be inspired. I want to be genuine. I want to show up as my authentic self. And I always want to be grateful because I recognize how blessed I am.
Mm. So be grateful. You said be love, be kind, be strong, be authentic, be grateful. What other one did you say? You said quite a few. Which is
Inspired. I have seven.
really,
So I
say
can
them
count
one
on my
more.
fingers.
Say it one
Love,
more
love,
time. Mhm.
kind, inspired, happy, grateful, strong, and genuine.
Be happy. Okay. And be strong, be authentic, be grateful, and be genuine. I may have more than what you said, but I captured a lot of it. And this is really good. And that's Dawn's theory of just being. What's your theory in the studio audience when you just exist and you be, and it's no, you're not in on mode, you're not in off mode, you're just being. How do you be? How do you be? And according to Dawn, she be happy. I know this might hear, I don't know what language this is, but she be happy. That's for sure. So let's put up some of the things that she be. She be happy. She be love. She be kind. She be inspired. She be happy. She be strong. She be authentic. She be grateful, and she be genuine. Is that seven? One, two, three, four,
Yeah,
five.
authentic and genuine are repeats.
Oh,
So I,
okay.
I chose genuine, but it's the same thing.
That's right. And now this isn't something, Dawn, that you just come into being. It's some things that probably over the course of your life that may have transpired that made you feel like this was such a strong need. So when we come back after the commercial break, I'd like for you to take us back to some of your history and how you became to be. How did you ultimately become Dawn Earhart Witte going to Africa and in being a part of changing the world? Who were you? I want to know who you were right after this commercial break. We'll be right back, everyone, with Dawn Witte.
Why learn about health when you can experience it? Experience it in beautiful Florida in February 2024. Join us for 3 days of integrative and intensive health and healing education and empowerment with the expertise of the following Healthopedia author, speaker, and facilitators. The world-renowned homeopath and acupuncture physician, Dr. James Marinakis, 4-decade health coach and holistic nutritionist, Dr. Joe D. Bear, and others such as Kimberly Meredith, Dame Doria Cordova, Rex Sykes, Dr. Gary Sanchez, Jamie Kerr, Serena Brown-Travis, and more. Experience daily morning walking and yoga, interactive participation, panel discussions, and more for your own epiphany of health. Get your tickets now.
All right, everyone, we're back and we're talking with Dawn Earhart Witte today about surrendering all. So we're going to be talking heavily about that throughout today's discussion. Today's episode is sponsored by Dr. Joe D. Bear, and you can visit Dr. Joe, JODEE.com to learn more about this Healthopedia event. Depending upon when you're watching this broadcast, I can tell you that this event is coming up if you're watching it in February. It's a Healthopedia event. There are 42 authors that are a part of this. It's in Boca Raton, Florida. There are a few more seats left, but it's an all-inclusive type of conference with daily meditation and yoga and all kinds of things happening. So if you go ahead and get your ticket, it's 800-820-0584. Again, that's 800-820-0584. And let them know the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. All right. My son, I should tell you this too, my son is one of the 42 authors in this book. And it's almost like an encyclopedia for health. And he's one of the 42 authors. I think he's the youngest author in the book. Yeah. I'm excited about it. All right, Dawn. So talk to us, take us back on your backstory and tell us who you were before you became.
Oh gosh, I think my greatest learning in lessons in life came from raising my daughters and being a mom. That's when you learn. I learned like the greatest lessons of all. And when I wrote my first book, I wrote that because I thought there are some things I want my daughters to know, like when I'm not here, the importance of being love and being kind and having compassion, those kind of things. So like my daughter's my everything. So I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time when I raised my daughters through adulthood. And, I volunteered for everything. I was PTA president. I was National Charity League president. I was a soccer coach. I was a public works commissioner. I did all the things because I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to be of contribution. But my whole life, Africa was always there. Like when I was a little girl, when I was a teenager, if I would have thought I had a choice, and I did have a choice, but I didn't know that as a 17-year-old, I thought I had to go to college, like right out of high school, like that was what you did, right? So I went to college, but if I would have got to choose anything I wanted to choose, I would have gone into the Peace Corps. Like that was always something I wanted to do, but it wasn't the right time. So, I have my daughters and I'm raising them, and I'm not going to fly halfway across the world and leave my daughters. So when they got old enough, the opportunity came, the seeds were planted, they'd been planted long ago, and it was time. And so I went the first time and I was in love. I was just like, you know what? I feel so alive here. I feel like I'm actually making a huge difference to people who don't have access to clean water, and food is a daily struggle. So that it just, it lit a passion inside me that was always there, right? The spark was always there. It just had to happen at the right time. So going to Africa was like a huge gift to me as far as me being aware of like who I am and how I want to show up in the world and what I want to do, what kind of impact and legacy I want to make.
And so when you go over to Africa for the first time, because there are a lot of people that would be willing to do mission trips, but really don't know what the appropriate way to start pursuing it. So how did that work out for you when your very first journey to Africa?
That's a funny story. I was at a Glamour magazine women's conference in Los Angeles. And after the conference was over, they had a little mixer. And there was this beautiful woman. She was wearing this beautiful white dress and this beautiful, beautiful gold necklace. And I had to compliment her because it was stunning. And she said, "Oh, thank you. This is from the country I come from." And I said, "Oh, where's that?" And she said, "Ghana." I said, "I've always wanted to go to Africa." And she goes, "You should go." And I was like, you know what? Why not? And so she was going to be coronated queen of her village. So she said, that's going to happen in April. And I said, you know what? Let me do that. So we, exchanged information, and her aunt passed away. And so her trip got delayed, but I was determined to go. So I got online and I looked up volunteer trips in Africa, and I chose Ghana because of her. And I just signed up for a volunteer trip. And I remember my daughter said to me, she goes, "Mom, you don't know anybody and you're just going all the way to Africa by yourself." She goes, "Should we be scared?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not." Because it was something I needed to do. And before I even went, I started making connections with people on the ground, You at Heart Foundation, and other organizations that were doing amazing work. So when I got there, it all just, again, surrendering, just taking the steps, but surrendering, saying, I don't know exactly what's going to happen or how this is all going to play out, but just keep going. And again, magical connections. I have dear friends for life now in Ghana, Sierra Leone, Uganda. And that was the first time I just went to Ghana. And then a few months later, I'm like, I'm going back. I am going back. And this time Ghana was not enough. I went to Ghana, Uganda, Kenya, and Rwanda. And then the next time I went to Ghana, Uganda, Kenya, and Sierra Leone. And so it's just been building. But again, I don't have a set absolute plan. I'm just allowing it to unfold and saying yes to any opportunity that comes my way.
Wow, that's an amazing first step to saying, I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I'm just going to a whole different area that I've never encountered by myself. You didn't even take your daughters, you went by yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
And then when you got there, you were well received, had people taking care of you and guiding you, and you were off to the races, basically.
Yeah. I was where I was supposed to be.
Where you're supposed to be. I actually have a sign in my house that says that you are exactly where you are supposed to be right now, sitting watching that particular sign, and you were right where you were supposed to be going to Africa. So when you got there and you realized that at this point these people need you. And so you're really a difference maker. Would you consider yourself a difference maker?
I hope so. I hope to be a difference maker. I mean, one of my goals is I may not be able to financially help everybody to the extent I would like to, but I want every child that I encounter, whether it's in the United States or in Africa or wherever it is, I want them to know that they are special and that they matter and that they're here for a purpose. And I see them and I love them just because they exist.
Just because they exist, not because of any conditions or I have to get the credit for it or anything like that. It's just because you are a human being and you exist. Who would you give credit to as far as your guiding force in your life?
Oh boy. I don't know. I think when I was young, I would watch, Cinderella and Snow White and those Disney princesses, and they were always kind, and caring and loving. And I think that I kind of role modeled myself after that. I loved the way they showed up. They were kind to the animals, so those were my role models.
That's cute. And you know what? That's funny because we all have those fairy tale stories and how they were helping and well, you can do that, you can do that. Well, in my case, I enjoyed watching Oprah, not in my childhood years. I actually was a young author and read Judy Blume, Beverly Cleary,
Me too.
and all of these books. My mom actually would say, Kim, if you're on punishment, which was rare because I did what she told me. But whenever she would punish me, I was like, "Phew, that's no punishment. I have my book rack in here." I would lay across the bed. And she was like, "Oh, so I see what you're doing. Every time I punish you, you go in there and read." And I would go and read so much. So Oprah, though, one thing that I was going to say was that Oprah, I used to mute the television and read the closed captioning to everything she would say, her and Phil Donahue. Everything that they would say, I would just be like, well, mainly Oprah. I'd be like, "Oh, my girlfriend Gail's coming to the stage today, y'all." And I would just emulate her. It was, pretty inspiring. So I love the fact that you said Cinderella and all of those fairy
Well,
tales.
it's really funny because the last time I was in Ghana, which was several years ago, I walk down this dirt path where the school is, and I know all the neighbors, and everybody that walks by me, I'm like, "Hello, good morning," hello. And at one point, I was like, "Oh my God!" It reminded me of that scene in Beauty and the Beast where Bella's walking through, going "Bonjour, bonjour."
That's so fun. That's fun. I mean, these are things that you can't go back and recreate. It's your real, true, in the moment moments of just being. So I'm really grateful that you're here sharing that. We're talking today, everyone, with Dawn Witte, and I'm pleased to be able to. I want to pull up something too, and I'll take a moment. But anybody that has questions in the studio audience, feel free to ask of Dawn. And I am going to just share my screen because I love your website. I think it'd be great to kind of walk people through and share some of this that you have going on. All right. So the secrets of being. Talk to us as I scroll through tell me where to go on your website, and I'll be happy to go there.
So my website, oh gosh, I want to help people in any way possible. I know that there were times where I doubted my worth. So I want to give people some tools and some ideas about how they can, be their best self and believe in themselves and stop with the negative talk in their own minds, because we are our own worst enemies sometimes, with the way we speak to ourselves and the way we think about ourselves. And, just like I said, with the children, I want them to know that they're important because they exist. I believe that about everyone. You matter. And I want everybody to live their happiest lives, because I am living a very happy life. Is my life perfect? By no means. But you know what? I'm happy.
And what do you attribute that to? As far as I see here, this statement, welcome to the secrets of being. And you say the secret of happiness is not as much of a secret at all. And you talk about all of the thought leaders and the trailblazers. But what do you attribute happiness to from your perspective?
Well, it's funny. When I went to Rwanda for the first time, we went to the Genocide Museum, which was so sad. I cried throughout the whole thing. And then when we were leaving, there was a little gift shop and had, things in it. And there was this poster on the wall and it said, Ubuntu, I am because we are. And that word by itself just gave me goosebumps. I had it tattooed on my ankle because I loved it so much. It's our connection to each other. And so I read this book. It's called The Good Life. And it was the longest study on happiness that's ever been done. Is 80 years. Harvard did the study. And what the conclusion was, and again, it doesn't surprise me, is our relationships, our connections to each other are the things that determine our happiness. And so if that is the thing that determines our happiness in our lifetime, that should be the thing we focus all of our effort and energy on.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. And I see your dog back there. Is he telling you, or is she telling you need to go to the bathroom or anything?
No, he just as much.
Okay, because this show is all about balance and how you balance different aspects of your life. So if you have to take a potty break, feel free.
No, we have a doggy door. No, he likes to be with me at all times.
Yeah, same here. My dog here. Yeah. Okay. So that's a beautiful statement that you said. I'm going to go to some other things here and start from where you are with what you have. Listen, when you all visit thesecretsofbeing.com, you're going to learn a lot about the different retreats that are being offered by Dawn. Empower your mind, ignite your soul, the secrets of being, unlocking your potential and igniting your change. There are different things that can help you on your journey to being able to being a better version of yourself. So make sure you visit the secrets of being. And I also want to take people to your products because where are the books?
Oh, if you go to the shop page.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go there because that was impressive. The amount of products that you have over here. Okay, there you go. Can you see that? Yeah. Oh, hey, I'm going to sign up here too. I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second so I can sign up. Wait a minute. Let me remove it. And I am going to sign up right now so I can be on your mailing list. And when you all go there, make sure you subscribe and sign up.
Oh my goodness.
All right, wait a minute. There we go. And it says, yep, it says I've signed up. Okay, now I gotta get my 10% off. Okay, let me see. So be the change, be the line. Tell us about some of these products that you have here.
I wanted to create some products that, people, they wear Nike or Adidas or whatever they wear. I wanted to create things that were positive messages like be love, be hope, Ubuntu. I am because we are. I wanted to teach people those words that I learned that I'd never heard before because they're so beautiful in their meaning. And so, we all have, t-shirts that we wear and clothes that we wear. So why not make it something that reminds you to be your best self?
I love it. I love it. And the Secrets of Being New line, this is a journal, a planner. Yeah.
Yes. And I've got an affirmation journal. I've got a 2024 planner. I have new necklaces that have those 7 words that I have love on right now. You can see that. I've got affirmation cards.
Okay. This is awesome. And then you have lots of books too. So are they on here as well?
I think those are on the About Us page on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw something that I wanted to show, but this is all of her merch that you can go and it's like be love, be authentic, be the change, you name it. You can get it here, and it's in male and female versions. And so I want to go back to About Us because that's where I think I saw all of the books. Because you're an author, how many times over at this point?
12
times over. I don't see it over here. I'll find it. Okay. So I am going to take another commercial break. Well, first of all, before we do that, let's see. I see a lot of comments come in. So Mackenzie backstage, pop some of these comments up, please. Angela Hope says, this is so lovely. This is just so lovely. Thank you, Angela. I'd love to go to Africa, Mackenzie says.
Join us.
And now, guess what? You can go to Africa with someone that you know because you've seen them on the Kim Jacobs show. You've looked into her eyes, and you can know that she's going to take you on a beautiful, safe journey to Africa. So that's a beautiful thing. I believe that this is awesome. Hello, everyone. I see all of your comments coming in, and so thank you so much for being active participants in the studio audience. Let me, the secrets of being. My mom is on. She said, the secrets of being.
Hi, Mom.
Let me, Dr. T. Oh, wait a minute. Dr. Tina Ramsey said, what did she say? I missed it. Hello, hello, Dr. Tina. Glad to see you. Lots of love and hugs to you as well. All right, Dawn Witte. You can stay connected with her. How? Tell them how they can stay connected with her.
You can find me on social media, Dawn Earhart Witte. Sign up at thesecretsofbeing.com. We have a newsletter. I've got a blog. And I have a bunch of free tools there. Again, if you can't afford a life coach or be part of a group practice, check out my free tools. I want to bring inspiration to people everywhere.
So no matter your financial situation, you can go for free to thesecretsofbeing.com and find out what free resources are available to you. If you have some funds to work around with, go and purchase merchandise, go and purchase all of the books, and there are plentiful for you to be able to choose from. I'll find them over here as well. And be able to support what Dawn Witte is doing to change this world. All right, so we're going to take another commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to hear more from Dawn Witte. We're going to talk about surrendering all right after this break. All right, we'll be right back, everybody. All right, everyone, we are back and we are talking today with Dawn Earhart Witte. Let me also let you all know that if any episode of The Kim Jacobs Show has been a blessing to you and to your household, make sure you take a moment and contribute to our broadcast. We air every Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can, just like any other public broadcasting type of situation, the community plays a key role in keeping that programming thriving. So please make sure you Cash App $ Kimjacobsinc, or you can even do a PayPal, paypal.me/Kimjacobsinc, and any method that works for you. Thank you so much for your contributions. We greatly appreciate it. I'm going to pull Dawn back in. Dawn, how are you over there?
Oh, I'm great. This is great.
Well, I'm glad that you're here with us today. Talk to us about surrendering all. What does that look like from your perspective?
I've been very mindful of surrendering over the last couple of years because we think we have to control everything, but that leads us to so much angst and worry and anxiety. And so when I said, you know what, let it be, whatever it is, allow it to be. And Kim, I've got a really good story for you about this very thing. When I was on your show last time, I was doing the Path to Purpose fundraiser for Mama Josephine in her house. And that was years ago, right? I was not able to raise all the money that I wanted to do all the work. But over the course of the years, and it was weighing on me. It's been weighing on me. Like, I really want to do this. I really want to create this. I really want to do this. How does it happen? How does it happen? And when I surrendered it, it just started happening on its own. They've literally purchased the land, laid the foundation of her new home. It is happening as we speak. But I surrendered it. I was given the idea, the seed was planted. I didn't know how I was going to make it happen, but God doesn't give you a vision without giving you the tools to make it happen. And sometimes we just have to allow him to do his magic and sit back and just be grateful.
And in sitting back and being grateful, it's so much easier said than done, in my opinion. Was that the case with you?
100%, yes. But also it doesn't mean do nothing. There are some action steps and things that you need to do to make it happen, but you don't have to have it all figured out. One of the things in personal development they teach you is you don't have to know the how. Know the why, and the how will figure itself out. And I will tell you this whole House for Mama in the community center in Busia, Uganda, that is happening. I didn't know the how. I knew the why, and it's unfolding as we speak.
That's so beautiful. Anytime we let the how be handled by, okay, God, you got this. There's a God. I'm not God. So you figure this out, because at the end of the day, we can put so much stress and pressure on ourselves that it takes over us physically, because there
Mhm.
are physical implications and ramifications, or whatever the word might be, that happen if you allow too much to build up on you individually. And some things, it's like no matter how you slice it, you can't ration with irrational. You can't, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I think that we have to just say, God, this is in your hands. And with the housing situation, time you released it, time you decided, okay, I've done all I think I personally can do. Now let's see what you're going to do, God, to take it from here, right?
And when we do that, it usually turns out even better than we
Every
thought
time.
if we put our hands on it. So, and when I first decided to write a book, I thought, okay, I had an idea for 3 books. I was going to write Be, To Be, and Believe. Well, I've written 12 books now, and I still have not written To Be. So, you know what? I thought 3 books. God said, nope, you've got more than that.
That's interesting. And actually, I found one of the pages that has some books on it. But I don't think these are all of the books. I saw so many books. How many books do you have?
I have 12 now. There are a few others that we don't have on there yet.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, I want to share some of these, because this is some good stuff here. Yeah, I already have it here. We'll pull it back in. Because I want people to know here, this where the books are?
No, that the those are the journals, the affirmation journals, things like that. So you can write in them. My affirmation journal, I really love that because it has 144 affirmations, and I say pick a number every day. Pick a number. Go to that page, whatever number you pick from 1 to 144, and that's your affirmation for the day. And then write
That's
about
that's good. Very good. And then all of the books that you do have are on the website, and you can be able to officially see each of those books and purchase them right from the site itself. So when it comes to surrendering all, what is the most pivotal type of moment that happened in your life that you said, you know what, outside of just the house that happened, which is happening and is going to happen, no matter how long it takes, is going to ultimately be finished. The product will come to fruition, her home being built. Are there other things that you can share with us from a practical perspective of steps to start the surrendering process in our lives?
Well, I mean, that's the biggest one. That's the biggest one that's ever come in my life. I just look at that. I'm like, whoa, how did this happen?
Right,
And it's
right.
happening right now. So it's really current and fresh. And I'm just still like pinching myself like, wow, this is really happening. Um, Oh gosh, I don't when I first started my podcast, I think this is when I got really mindful of
Mhm.
surrendering. First started my podcast, I put out, some feelers. I was going to have, my vision was to have like 2 guests, and I had somebody like a double people booked, and I'm like, "Oh God, what do I do? Do I tell this person, reschedule that?" I'm like, "No, let it be. Surrender it, allow it to be." And it turned out perfectly. So every time some situation like that comes up and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what do I do about this?" It's like, no, let it be. And again, it is a mindful practice. It is not something that automatically happens for me. I have to remind myself, allow it to be what it is, because maybe this was the better way. But I
Right.
was trying to control it in my human mind, but the divine mind knows way better.
And we don't know what the outcome is going to be, because of the fact that we only learn and know in parts. So it's a scary process when you're trying to allow something to be that you're like, I don't know what the B is going to be. What is the outcome going to be at the end of the day? So we want to control the narrative if we can, as best we can, right? And so that's what I think is, whenever I think about surrendering all, I think about the fact that I'm not in control. I have to put my total trust in my savior, who I feel like is guiding and leading me in the way of all truth. So if I say that, then I have to release the reins and let it be.
It's kind of like when you have children, right? Especially when they're adult children. So now you can't protect them anymore. You can't bubble wrap them, and you have to let them make their own mistakes, learn their own lessons. I think we learn our greatest lessons through our greatest challenges. So, it's, you have to just kind of hold your breath and just go, okay, be free, fly. And this is your path and your journey.
But we don't want to do that as parents, even though I will say that I definitely try to steer my children, my adult children, but they have their own philosophies and minds, and I actually learn from them too. So it's reciprocal because I
Yeah.
literally learn a lot from them, and we have family meetings and they share and impart resources and things to me. But that is a challenging time of life to say, I really want them to do it this way. And they're like, Mom, thank you so much for sharing, or whatever the wording is. I'm like, what? Do it my way. But it's not, I can't make them do it my way. But they take into consideration what I say, if that makes sense. And I
Well,
did I found your books too. But go ahead, make your point about your children.
oh, I was just going to say, we can walk with them, but we cannot walk their journey for them.
That's
And I think that's the greatest gift we can give them.
right. That's true. We all have a path and a journey, and to each of them are customized for us individually. So none of us are going to be the same as we're walking through this thing called life. And so we have to be respectful of what somebody else's journey may be, even though it may not mirror that of ours. So I agree. And part of that I'm talking about in a book that I wrote as well. But okay, so I found the books. I found the books. So you have all different types of books here, and you said 12 of them. So if you go to thesecretsofbeing.com and go to about, you're going to see all of the books that Dawn Witte has written, and they are very inspiring. So make sure you all take a moment to do that today. All right. And all right. So when I think also about surrendering all is it's a powerful word, all. It's not partial, a little bit here and there, it's all. Why do you think it's important to surrender all versus just a little bit? Just a little bit.
I Because again, I said our human minds know the human, but the divine mind knows way more. So when we surrender and trust and believe, have faith that things are working out for our highest and greatest good, no matter what circumstance. I mean, I remember my car. I was doing an online virtual summit, and my car wouldn't start, and I had to take my car in, and I had to get an Uber back to get back for the summit, and I left my cell phone in the Uber. And I got out of the Uber, and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. And I wanted to cry. But I was like, no, what is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to teach me? I mean, I literally was saying that, like, there's a lesson here. There's a lesson here. I don't know what it is because this really is terrible. But turns out the guy was just turning around my street. I found him. I'm like, oh my God, my phone is in your car. And he gave it back to me. But maybe that was just the lesson that, don't lose your stuff when stuff is going down. Like, just say, okay, I can't see the lesson here. I cannot see the lesson, but there's something here. There's something here for me. So trust and believe that something good is going to come out of everything, even if you can't see it in the moment.
No, you know what? That will help you unravel in a moment's notice. You know how important cell phones are to people. So if you leave that in an Uber, you're going to literally, my sister left hers in an Uber one time, and we had to do the same thing. I called the home office. They got the phone. We had to meet them. It was crazy, but it was a big stressor for her because she was without her cell phone, and she actually had cancer at that time. So she was coming from her cancer treatment, and it was just overwhelming to witness the whole experience. But it worked out where really the stress wasn't even necessary because the phone was returned. So, but you don't know that when when you're dealing with in the moment situations,
Exactly. And that's where the mindfulness comes in. That's where you stop yourself because, again, we're human. And
That's right.
like I was in my head, again, I'm living in the future. What am I going to do? I don't have a phone at home anymore. I live by myself. My dogs can't, like, how do I, navigate this? But it worked out for me in that moment. It could have gone a different way, But as I'm going through it, I'm just reminding myself, you know what, this is going to teach me something.
Absolutely. And in the studio audience too, how do you surrender all? I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you do to actually surrender in different circumstances and situations. I see comments that's been coming in. Absolutely incredible. This is exactly what's happening to me now. Such a confirmation. Absolutely beautiful. So you're inspiring people in the studio audience, Dawn. Surrendering is exactly how we should live our lives. Yes, that's what Angela says. And more comments, any other comments? I mean, this is so lovely. I see all of your comments. I believe that's awesome. So thank you so much, Mackenzie. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Mom. I see all of Dr. Tina, all of you, all your comments. Keep them flooding in, and we'll be happy to address them throughout today's broadcast. I do want to invite you all to learn more about one of our episode sponsors, and it's LINQQS is the site, and I'll put the link there for you all to see. But it's actually, if you were a self-employed representative during COVID-19, this is an opportunity for you to put in a calculator for employee retention credit program to see if you qualify for up to $32,000. And that's if you had 1099 contracted individuals. Now, I had never heard of this program because everything that I'd heard of was about having W employees. So to hear about this program with linqqs.com, they give you a calculator to see if you're eligible for up to $32,000 in their calculator. Please let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. And as again, if you're self-employed, this is going to be beneficial for you to know. All right. Woo! What, you have quite a few things. I have photos and all kinds of things over here. So let me put this photo up and talk to us about this Sacred Words of Africa.
Oh, well, so that's my latest book. And I got the idea to write it because I told you I'd mentioned the Ubuntu, right? And again, I love that word
You have
so
to
much.
lean over a little bit in the broadcast so I can see
Oh,
your
okay. Here we go. Here we go.
okay.
So Ubuntu, love that word. And I share it with people all the time because it means so much in one word. And then I learned the word sawabuna. And sawabuna it means I see you, I value you, you are important to me. One word that says all of that. And I thought, oh my gosh, what other magical African words are there that say so much in just one word? So I did some research and I found 25 words that I thought were really amazing, that one word just speaks volumes. So I wanted to share those with people because, like, what a beautiful thing to see someone and to value them and to let them know they're important just in one word. So that's my latest book. And I just wanted to share the words that I've learned that meant so much to me.
Oh my gosh. And how can people get a copy of the book?
That is on Amazon. If you look up Sacred Words of Africa, it will pop up. And it's a very short book. It's only 65 pages, but there are 25 amazing words in there.
Oh, amazing. And tell us about your Costa Rica retreat.
Oh, I am so excited about this. This vision has been in my head for many years. I was starting to plan it in 2019, at the end of 2019, and then 2020 happened. And I don't have to say any more about why that did.
Right.
And so then it took me a little bit of time before I got back in and said, this must happen. And so I put it out to my network of people, and these 15 people are all part of it. I have other friends that wanted to be part, but the scheduling wasn't working. So I've got a couple people from South Africa. You know, we've got Liberia represented, Mexico represented, and these are my circle of friends. These people are all doing amazing work in personal development, and it's going to be in a beautiful location. And I just, forming that community, finding the others. There's a quote about finding the others. I think for so long, people would be like, why are you like this? Like, why are you like this? And so I always used to feel like there was something wrong with me because, people don't get me. But then when I found people like me, It's so wonderful to have those people that love you because you're like this. So this is what I want to create. I want to create a community of like-minded people who want to be the change they wish to see in the world, and they want to be their best selves.
I love it. I love it. I'm so inspired by you just being and coming on here and telling us how to be a better version of ourselves, how to surrender all, how to love people just because they exist on the earth, not because of any rhyme or reason, just because they be. I love having you here. It just motivates me and inspires me. So anyway, tell us about this photo.
Oh, I just got goosebumps. These are the children at Mama Josephine's. There I am in the middle, somewhere in there. You can see me. But this was on my last visit, which was last July. I hadn't seen them for a few years because of COVID and things like that. So these are my kids. Like I love them so much, and I've been able to watch them grow. And it's an honor for me to be able to see them and to value them and to let them know that they have something important to contribute to this world.
And how do they embrace you when you are there? Do they treat you like a family member? Do they treat you like a teacher or a coach or a preacher or minister? How do they treat you when you're there?
They treat me like a mom slash playmate.
Oh, okay, okay. That's good to know. So you get like down and dirty, roll your sleeves up, playing. Do you play sports? What do you do when you're there that's fun and making them feel like you're part of the family?
I dance with them. I'll have kids like two kids in my lap and kids like playing with my hair and kids like rubbing my face. And those are my happiest moments because it's pure love.
Wow. Wow, I can, I'm visualizing what you're saying, and I can just see the joy pouring from your pores in moments like that. Because again, these moments aren't moments that you can take for granted. You're right in the moment of building a legacy, leaving a lasting impact on somebody's lives forever. You're putting an imprint that changes the trajectory of a person's life, a whole village, a whole area. And how often do you go to Africa?
Well, so in total, I've spent about 4 months in Africa. I've taken 6 different trips. I've been, 5 different trips, 6 different countries. And a few times I've gone for a whole month where I went to all, 4 different countries at one time. And that's a long time to be away from my dogs. But um, yeah, so I've spent a substantial amount of time, and again, I don't stay at fancy places. I've slept on the floor in Sierra Leone with the girls. I, get mosquito bites. I've taken showers in buckets. Sometimes I don't even have access to water or, a toilet. So but that is important to me to be able to have that experience so that when I speak about it, I am speaking from a place of like, I'm not just witnessing this. I've experienced it. I know what that feels like. And this is their lives.
Wow. And with do you take other people with you at this point, or are you still going alone? Do your children go with you? How does the trip look?
The last trip I went to Uganda, we went with a big group of people from the United States. My vision is to bring people, and I want them to have that same experience. And I won't make them sleep on the floor, but
Okay. I was like, do we get a pallet beside you or something so that we know that we with you, or what do we do?
no, we'll actually like find rooms. But I do want to bring people because I want them to meet. I want them to share an experience that I've had because again, I think in the United States, we have so many blessings. And I know that there are people that are struggling in many different areas and aspects, but we still have access to clean water. We take so many things for granted. And because of that, I think that we always think that somebody else is going to take care of the problem. Somebody else will fix this for somebody else. But in Africa, they have to rely on each other. And so you feel the sense of community, the sense of like love and compassion for each other.
Yes.
So and that again, you have to experience it in order to fully appreciate what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
I've heard people before say, "Oh my gosh, Africa changed my life." Well, I will tell you, it has indeed changed mine, and it's a real thing.
Yeah, you cannot, I'm a living witness to this. that you cannot really understand something that you've never experienced. No matter how you slice it, you can read a book, you can talk from a coaching perspective and book knowledge, but if you haven't experienced it, like if I have not experienced Africa. So no matter how passionate you sound about it, I don't have the I don't have the full complete understanding and appreciation of it because I'm not there getting my hair pulled on and laying and seeing the water and be like, oh my God, I cannot believe that people are in this situation and I'm sitting here. I'm complaining about what? I'm complaining about what? And then so I just appreciate you painting the picture for us because you have experienced it at the level but it's just so many different facets of life that we can never put ourselves in that person's shoes no matter how we try no matter how we try until you've gone through it. Would any of you all be interested in actually taking a trip and going to Africa with Dawn? I'd like to know your answer to that in the studio audience because that might move her to get a trip together quickly, right?
Well, I'm definitely going next summer. My friend is opening a school in Zambia. My friend Clementine, she's amazing. And so I will add Zambia to my itinerary. And then I will also go to Uganda and however much time left, hopefully maybe make it to Ghana because I haven't been in so long. And again, Ghana changed my life.
Yeah, I do have family and friends that are doing a Ghana housing project, and so I would love to connect you with them, and I'll make sure I do that just offline. And the way that they do this is this beautiful housing project where they get a chance to they pay I think their rent and housing for the year. It's a whole different philosophy on how things are handled there. But I'll connect you all as well.
I would love that.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts or things that you really wanted to talk about on today's episode about surrendering all that maybe you didn't get a chance to share earlier in the broadcast?
The only thing I love to leave people with the notion that, you don't have to go to a foreign country and do what I do to be changed and make a difference. Every interaction we have, whether we're at the grocery store, we're in traffic with our families, with our friends, we can make someone's life easier and better by just seeing them, showing up for them, smiling at them, giving them a compliment, a genuine compliment, don't make stuff up, but be authentic, like really care and really see people because we're so busy in our lives that we just forget that there's another human across from us, a human that's going through their own challenges and their own struggles. And to see somebody is such a gift to give them. And it's free. It doesn't cost a thing.
It's free to show love to every single person we encounter, no matter what their race, religion, nationality. It doesn't matter. Just as long as we can show the love of God through us to them, that's a blessing. And I'm really grateful that you are here today. So let me share with people how they can stay connected with you again, please. So tell everybody how they can stay connected with you.
You can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn at Dawn Witte. I'm on Instagram at the Secrets of Being podcast. You can go to thesecretsofbeing.com, sign up for our newsletter, explore our free tools. I wrote these things so that, could give you some like different thoughts, different ways to think of certain situations that are happening in your lives. And just reach out. I would love, and I have a podcast called The Secrets of Being. And I would love anybody who has a topic that they would like us to cover, a challenge they're going through. I would like to know because I want to be of service.
That is so awesome. And I want to go back and thank our episode sponsors, drjod.com. I want to also thank vproducts.store. If you like coffee at all, whether it's mushroom infused, which is what they have, or black coffee, you can go to vproducts.store. Everyone rants and raves about the coffee, so make sure you go and grab it. And getinsured.solutions with Samantha Benson. She does final life insurance, so you can keep more of it in the family's home, as well as she's the same representative with LinQuest, the LINQQS.com. So I'll put all of their information in the comments section. Dawn, you have been a tremendous blessing to this show today. And I'm so honored to know you and grateful that we're connected.
Thank you. I feel the same, Kim.
This has been amazing. Let me see. Somebody made a comment and it was a whole paragraph, so I don't want to take Let me see. Angela said, going to Kenya in December for a ministry. Looking forward to the experience, and I would love to travel you, with you, Dawn. So Angela would love to go on a trip with you. You have one passenger already.
Definitely reach out and stay in touch because I would love to bring people with me.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much for being such an active audience in the studio audience. Make sure you all stay connected with Dawn Witte at The Secrets of Being. You can find out everything you need to know about her right there, thesecretsofbeing.com, and go on this journey with her of being a change agent, being a difference maker, being love, being authentic, being grateful, just being. And so I'm so glad. Thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you, Kim.
All right, everybody, have a great day. And we love you, all of us. We love you. And we're glad to be connected with you unconditionally. Have a great one. God bless you. See you tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m.